Hi friends, welcome back to the Saffron box. I'm Yamini Sharma and today I'll be talking about the month of February 2024. How does it look like? What are going to be the planetary transits and how does it finally impact all of us, right? So I'll talk about the transits, I'll talk about the impact on all these signs individually as well. But do remember that before you go ahead, as I always say, before you go ahead and understand any transit, any planetary movement, you've got to understand one thing, that the transits are going to be delivering only what the natal chart, what your Janam Patrika has promised to you. Nothing will happen out of the air, no magic will happen, nothing will go beyond the scope of your natal chart, right? So whatever your natal chart promises is what the dashas shape up and what the transits finally deliver. So this is something, this is a basic principle which you always need to keep in mind before expecting magic from the transits, right? So this is something I'm sure a lot of my subscribers understand, a lot of my viewers understand this, but it is my duty as a content creator or as a person who is talking about transits to give you this basic principle, give you this basic understanding first and only then proceed, right? So this month we see a lot of planets touching through, rather going through the sign of Capricorn. Sun is anyways in the sign of Capricorn or Makar. Mercury is there. Then Mars and Venus will also move out of the sign of Sagittarius and move into the sign of Makar, that is Capricorn, where Mars will get exalted as well. So you see 4 planets are going to be there, and Capricorn is going to take the flavors of all these 4. And then thereafter Mercury moves out, goes into the sign of Aquarius. Sun will also move out to the sign of Aquarius by the mid of Feb. And in the sign of Aquarius again we will have Sun, Saturn and Mercury. This is again a very interesting conjunction, one of my favorite conjunctions to study in any horoscope whenever I see Sun, Saturn. And then on top it all, to top it all, when Mercury comes in, it becomes very interesting. That horoscope becomes very interesting for me. So anyways, we have a lot of action in both the Saturnian signs, Capricorn as well as Aquarius. Apart from that, we have Rahu in Pisces, Ketu in Virgo, we have Jupiter in the sign of Aries, right? So Jupiter is also going to be there for another 2 to 3 months and then move on to the next sign. So this is the state of the planets more or less. And the major action is going to take place in the sign of Capricorn and then further on in the sign of Aquarius. Now, let's understand what Capricorn stands for. Number 1, Capricorn is by default the 10th sign, right? So it comes in the 10th house of the natural horoscope. It is a very practical, a very powerful and a very hard-working sign. It's a sign of Shani. So anyways, all these things come in together: stability, drive, discipline, perseverance, patience, right? And it has the power to deliver a lot. So if in your natal chart anyways you have a lot of planets in the sign of Capricorn, they always push you to do better. They always push you to take more action, generate more karma, right? And when so many planets go through the sign of Capricorn, your karma, or now when I talk about karma, or when I talk about your deeds, it can mean differently for different people. So for somebody who's a student, their karma is to study, their karma is to do the best of their ability, study well, right? Somebody who's looking after their family, somebody who's a homemaker or a housewife, their duty is to look after the family, nurture the family, right? So each and every person has a role. Somebody who's heading a big business is to, their role is to take care of that business, make sure that it's profitable, take care of their team, take care of their organization. So whichever role you are in, how do you do your karma? How consciously are you taking actions? Right? Karma, the sign of Capricorn or the Karma Sthan is not only the sign of profession. It doesn't talk only about your profession, which a lot of people mistake it as. It talks about any and every kind of karma which you generate. So do keep that in mind. And here, this month, the coming few days, the sign of Capricorn will get a lot of boost, and then thereafter the sign of Aquarius will also get highlighted, because next month again the same cluster of planets going to move to the sign of Aquarius. So this month it's very important about, what kind of karma, what kind of work are you doing, what are you putting in, is very important this month, right? So let's go sign wise. I'll begin from Aries, and then I'll go to Pisces, and I'll see how it how does it look like, how does this month look like for all of you. So beginning with Aries, when I talk about Aries, your Lagnas Mars, the ascendant Lord Mars, is going to get exalted this month, right? So we have Mars currently in the sign of Sagittarius along with Venus, and Mars will move into the sign of Capricorn where it exalts. So this month is going to be good for you in terms of your overall position, your overall status, overall standing, so to say. A lot of you who have been waiting for some limelight, some spotlight to come onto them, that means getting recognized, may get an opportunity this month, right? So make sure, if you have been working towards your goal, see, no results, no fruits can come if you haven't worked for them, right? So if you have been working towards a goal tirelessly, this month will see you as a go-getter, will see you as someone who's getting recognized for it as well. So a lot of recognition coming your way. This month we also see other planets, as in Sun Mercury conjunction is there in the first half, and then Venus is also joining in. It is very important for the Aries ascendant to make sure that their communication within relationships, whether it is your work relations, whether it is your personal relations, your relationship with your spouse, your speech, your communication within relationships has to be good. You have to check, you have to be very mindful of how you're communicating, because Mars here can trigger a lot of impulsiveness. Mars here can trigger a lot of anger also at times. You may get very impatient also at times. So make sure that you are handling your relationships properly. There could also be good chances of Aries ascendant acquiring better chances for education, going towards higher studies, or getting better results in their academic fields as well, right? So Mars here, along with so many other planets, is aspecting the fourth house as well, which is again a house of education. It is also a house of real estate, of vehicles, etc. So with Mars, with Venus, etc., all these planets, all this, the planetary party which is happening there in the sign of Capricorn will give you chances to build in real estates, invest in real estates, invest in conveyances, etc. So these kind of things are indicated. Fourth house matters, as in your real estate, conveyance, all these do get highlighted this month. As the month progresses, the second half, when Sun exits out of Capricorn, moves into the sign of Aquarius, where we see the Sun Saturn conjunction happening, and then Mercury will also join in later, by the later half of the month. That is when you need to be careful about your professional circles, your networks. How are people behaving within your network circles? How is your communication there? Some of you may face communication barriers, or some misunderstanding may occur within your network circles, within your people whom you interact with, your children as well, your elder siblings. So this entire month, Aries has to be careful about communication, has to be very, very mindful about what is going out in terms of words, in terms of written matter. So before you sign up any contract, before you sign up any agreement also, you need to be doubly careful. So check your paperwork, that is very important, right? Mercury, the Karak of paperwork, of agreements, wherever you write on pen and paper, wherever it gets printed, it gets verified, stamped, Mercury plays a role there, right? So Mercury with Sun and Saturn by the end of the month may create issues, especially towards the very end, right? When the degrees of Sun is also a little higher, not in the initial degrees, the middle of the sign of Aquarius. That is when you have to be careful. Now, moving on to the sign of Taurus. So, if you have a Taurus ascendant or a Taurus rising sign, then in such a case, your ascendant ruler, that is Venus, is going to come out of the eighth house this month, right? So, from the eighth house, it moves on to the ninth house. Ninth house is the sign of Capricorn. The ruler is Shani. Shani is very well placed. Saturn is very well placed in the 10th house, and Venus also comes into the trinal house, that is the ninth house. So this month will make a lot of things better for you, especially if you have been going through any health scare, any issues related to accidents, injuries, etc. This month will set you onto a path of recovery, right? A lot of help may come to you, people around help you, your elders help you, people who are proficient in their own fields. So you may get, if you are going through a bad phase of health, then you may get to meet a very good doctor, a super specialist, somebody who's a known figure in their field, and they help you out, they guide you through, they help you recover, right? So these kind of chances where your luck, your fortune starts favoring you, starts taking you towards better days, is definitely indicated, right? So money wise or education wise, etc., this is going to be a better month, especially after the last 2-3 months which the Taurus ascendant has seen, which have been pretty rough on them, right? So you will see better chances. A lot of you also would see connections with foreign lands, or you may get to meet a lot of foreign clients, get business from outside. So these things are also indicated for the Taurus ascendant. Otherwise, work wise, this is a great time. And the best thing, which as I mentioned also earlier, is luck favoring you. So wherever you need luck, if you're all prepared, if you're a student and you're all prepared to write your exams, make sure that you pray to your Isht and then go. Luck is going to favor you this month, right? So this is an overall great month for the Taurus ascendant. Also, as the second half comes in, that is when Sun joins up Saturn in the sign of Aquarius in the Kendra Bhava. That is when you need to avoid any written work regarding property matters, regarding real estate matters, right? So try to pend it for some time, try to pend it for a fortnight or so, and then go ahead, right? So there could be things related to real estate, conveyances, or property matters where you might face some delay or some obstacles, some issues from the government side, some kind of objections, some omission, some mistakes which may get pointed out, right? So your paperwork needs to be streamlined, and it's best avoided for some time, at least in this month of Feb. Then moving on to the sign of Gemini. So if you have a Gemini ascendant or a Gemini rising, we have Mercury, that is the ascendant ruler, in the 8th house most of the month, and then it moves on to the 9th house. And this month your 8th house is getting a lot of, I would say, there's a planetary party in the 8th house. So Sun, Mercury, Mars is getting exalted, Venus is going to be there. So for a lot of you, inheritance matters may come up. A lot of you may deal with matters which were hidden till now, which were not very out and open, right? So you deal with hidden matters, you deal with things which have been which have not been paid attention to till now. So inheritance issues, inherited property, inherited cash, all these things may come up. Such matters will require closure, will require your attention. Also, For some of you who are in a situation where some legal battle is on, or you see some problems related to inheritance matters, especially inherited money, unearned money, this could be a little tricky time, right? So if you are stuck in a conflict with your brother, if you are stuck in a conflict with some other sibling, brother, sister, anybody, then this month you need to be careful, right? So things may take a long time to get sorted out. It is better to remain quiet than communicate something or say something in haste and then keep on repenting about it. So this is something which you definitely need to see. And be careful regarding your money, regarding cash in your wallet. Yeah, liquid assets also need to be taken care of properly. So wherever you keep your belongings, your jewelry, cash, etc., needs to be checked. You need to be really careful about handling all these things, because there could be a chance of you losing out on such liquid assets, cash flow, or cash or jewelry, etc. So be careful there. And by the second half of the month, a lot of you may also get into any conflict, disagreement with their teachers, with their father figure, with their father himself. So that is again something which I would say is to be taken with a grain of salt. Sometimes, even if our elders are trying to advise us about something, they may not be keeping up with times, they may not be 100% correct, but you need to maintain a degree of respect. You need to maintain your basics, your respect towards elders. Yeah, so your basic values have to be in place. So your communication needs to be proper. Do not get into any unnecessary hassle with your father. Some of you may also take up long journeys, etc. So there also make sure that your paperwork, especially if you're going with the going towards foreign lands where a lot of paperwork, your etc. is required. Your paperwork, your things, your cash, your currencies are in place before you leave. So this month, whatever you're doing, please check doubly, right? So I would say this is a little tricky, but yeah, not so bad, right? So it depends on the age and stage of life you are in. If you are a student, I would say this is a great month. But otherwise, if you're dealing with, if you're somebody who's dealing with a lot of money, with a lot of cash, then this month you have to be very careful. Then moving on to the next sign of Cancer. So if you're a Cancer ascendant or a Cancer rising, this month from your 6th house, now the focus has shifted to the 7th house. Mars getting exalted in the 7th house, other Sun, Mercury and Venus also coming in. But do remember that for the Cancer ascendant, Mars is a Yoga Karaka. It holds the ownership of the 5th as well as the 10th house. So the Yoga Karaka getting exalted in the 7th house and then aspecting the Lagna, I would take it as a good sign. But again, each and every planet, while it does some good, it does some not so good things also. So Mars, being the planet of aggression, being the planet of anger, getting exalted in the 7th house may pose relationship issues, may pose anger issues. You may get very impatient. So there could be anger issues between you and your spouse, which may disturb the balance in your house, disturb the harmony in your house. So that is something which you need to be careful about. How you deal with your partners, how you deal with your people at work who are your contemporaries is something which you got to be careful about. If you're someone who's starting their own work, then I think this month you will feel all energized and all ready to get set and start off with some new initiative, etc. You get a lot of energy, you get a lot of go to do things. So, or if you are someone who's looking at applying for a new job, or you have finished your studies, you're looking at further chances of employment, this month may hold some good news for you as well, right? Then as the second half of the month goes, Sun will move out from the sign of Capricorn and move towards the 8th house, that is the sign of Aquarius, and be in the same, share the same space with Saturn, and then Mercury will also join in. So here you will have to put in some extra efforts in terms of projects which are ongoing. This conjunction, especially with Saturn being here, then Sun and Mercury also being here, this could show some delay or some obstacles in approvals coming in agreements getting signed, in anything which has to come through a long route, right? So if you are waiting for some paperwork, getting through and coming to you, there could be some delay there. Some of you may also end up paying some fines, right? So how you're driving has to be seen. Whether you're overspeeding, driving, all these small traffic fines, and bigger fines, these chances are also very much present this month. So make sure that you do not do anything which involves any kind of punishment, any kind of fines, etc., from the government, right? Then moving on to the sign of Leo. So if you are a Leo ascendant or Leo rising, then Sun moves out of the sixth house and comes to the seventh house, aspects the Lagna. There is a lot of movement, a lot of action in the sign of Capricorn for you, which is the sixth house. And then the seventh house also gets a lot of energy with Sun moving in there, sharing the space with Mercury and Saturn. So this is overall a good time. Those of you who are looking for employment, who are looking for new opportunities for work, may get some good news this month, right? If you're looking at beating out some competition, if you're looking at appearing for some competitive exams, this may also prove to be a good time for you. So for students or for people who are looking for jobs, good times. Mars, which is in a way yoga karak for you, the fourth lord and the ninth lord, so it holds the lordship of the fourth and the ninth house. Mars is getting exalted in the sixth house. So your competitive spirit, your ability to beat the competition is on an all-time high. So use this. If you are dealing with any opposition is competition at work, opposition is any competitive exams or any legal problem, any medical issues, any kind of enmity with anybody, then you get an upper hand this month. So use this time to do whatever is due from your side, so to keep up and be at the edge, be ahead of your competition, right? So that is something which is definitely indicated. So while Mars helps you in dealing with all this, Mars can also bring you some trouble in terms of fevers or seasonal illnesses or cuts and burns, etc. So this is something which you need to be careful about. So be careful. Small injuries can happen, health troubles can happen, some wounds or some cuts where some blood loss happens. These kind of things are definitely indicated. So take care of yourself, right? Do not get into fights with people. If you are a youngster, if you are a young person and you feel that you have a lot of anger, or if you have children who are who get pretty angry, who have some temper issues, then this month ensure that they spend a lot of time in spending their physical energy. So they play a lot, they go around, play a game, pick up a sport where a lot of physical energy is exhausted. Otherwise, this excess of energy may cause a lot of trouble at home also. Right? To the next sign of Virgo. So if you're a Virgo ascendant or a Virgo rising, then this month we see a lot of planets in the fifth house for you. Mars being exalted, Mercury, the Lagnas being there, and then thereafter the sixth house gets Sun. Mercury also enters later in the second half of the month. So here I would say at the beginning of the month your confidence may be very high. You may feel like taking a lot of risks. You may feel like speculating. So you may feel very adventurous doing things which may not be good for you, right? So whatever you're doing, use your intelligence properly. Do not get impulsive. Yeah, fifth house is your mind. Fifth house is how you're finally managing yourself. So here too many planets, too many inputs, there may be confusion here, right? So whatever you're trying to do it with being level headed in the first place. Even if you're taking risks in terms of speculations, like some people trade, they put in big sums of money into trading, equity, etc. Do it, but study the market properly and then do it, rather than being impulsive, rather than listening to just some random advice and doing it, right? So do your groundwork properly, and only then uh, risk out your money, risk out your resources. That is what I would say. And this month also holds a good chance for people who are looking at conception, right? So if you are somebody who's planning a family, this month may be conducive. If you are looking for medical treatment, medical aid related to fertility, related to all these issues, childbirth related issues, then this month you may get better help, better medical advice, etc. So overall good. Second half of the month, where Sun also moves out, comes into the sixth house, gets joined with Saturn, may prove to be a little challenging. So those of you who have health issues related to bones, or arthritis, etc., or you have issues related to old age. So if you're somebody who's a senior citizen, who's an older person, and you have certain health issues going on, you need to be careful there, right? So arthritis, nervous pain, nerve related issues, all these things have to be definitely seen. So take care of your health in the second half of the month. Overall, this month is okay. Whatever you do, do not get triggered by some single situation, or just somebody trying to give you some random advice, is what I would say. So whatever you do, be informed about your doing, and your health definitely has to be taken care of. Then moving on to the next sign of Libra. So for Libra, we see four planets going through the sign of Capricorn: Sun, Mercury, Mars, and Venus. Venus is your Lagnas also. From the third house, it comes to the fourth house. Fourth house is Capricorn. Shani, your Yoga Karak planet, rules the sign of Capricorn. Shani is anyway sitting in the fifth house right now. So this is going to be a good time period for you. Those of you who are looking at gain from real estate, gain from property, or making a new property, making a new house, or buying a new piece of land, etc., they may stand a good chance this month. Some of you may also look at upgrading their vehicles, buying a new one, buying a better one, right? So a good month for you in terms of these two issues. The overall condition, or the overall situation at home may be good. A lot of action, a lot of plans to do things, a lot of travel plans may get formed this month for you. Some of you may also do a lot of short-term journeys, right? So that is again something which is indicated this month. As the second half approaches, you need to be careful about how you're dealing with your children, right? How you're dealing with younger people in your family. So there could be some communication problems, or there could be some misunderstanding, or your children may require your attention, right? So second half, that is what I see. Apart from that, there could also be some coldness in terms of, if you are in a love affair, if you are in a romantic relationship with somebody, there could be some coldness, or some distance. You're not able to meet that person, you're not able to communicate properly, right? So you get a little doubtful about the condition of your relationship, or how your relationship is going to go ahead in future. So that is again something which I definitely see. Career wise, I would say that a lot of people will get a boost, or will get the position of their choice, or more recognition at work, because so many planets in the fourth house aspecting the 10th house may trigger in a lot of action for you also. So if you're someone who's looking for a new job, you're looking for a change, or overall you're looking at some betterment in your career, in your workspace, then this is going to bring in good news for you. Then Moving on to the next sign of Scorpio. So if you're a Scorpio ascendant or a Scorpio rising, this month we see the Lagnesh, that is Mars, in a state of exaltation in the third house. And Mars does very well in the third house, third, sixth, 10th, 11th, or especially the third and the sixth houses. I have seen Mars really works wonders because these houses are upchay bhavas, they are growth houses, and Mars, being the planet of action, pushes you towards doing things which bring in growth, right? So here, you will find you'll find some challenges for yourself. You'll take initiative towards meeting those challenges, right? So this is going to be a month of action for you, but make sure that whatever you do, you plan it carefully. Mars knows how it needs to take action, but when, carefully, what are going to be the consequences, all that has to be seen properly before you initiate something, right? So that is something which you need to see. Keep your anger under check, especially with your younger siblings, with your neighbors. So there might be disputes which you can run into with your neighbors, with your younger siblings, right? And overall, the job scene, the career scene is good for the Scorpio ascendant as the month progresses, because Saturn is anyways aspecting the 10th house. Sun and Mercury will also aspect the 10th house in the second half. And those of you who are looking at some government related sanctions, some approvals which are pending, some job offer which has to come, these kind of things, wherever the government is involved, you may look at some benefits in the second half of the month as well, right? So make sure that your paperwork, your written work, your agreements, all these things are in place. So your legal work, your written work has to be looked after properly. Apart from that, on your personal front, your relationships may suffer a little, because whenever the planet of action, that too like Mars, when it exalts, usually I've seen there is issues, there is some issue when it is sitting with Venus. So Mars and Venus together are not a very good combination. They have a very separative effect. So your relationships suffer during this time. So take care of your partner during this month. Be more mindful, be more sensitive to their needs. Then moving on to the next sign of Sagittarius. So if you're a Sagittarius ascendant, Sagittarius rising, then Jupiter is in the fifth house for you. We know that. The second house in your case, which is the Kutumba Bhav, the family, is seen from the second house, the state of family, the state of wealth, your accumulated assets, your cash in bank, etc. So second house is getting a lot of boost from planets here. So this month, your speech, your family, your money, all these things comes into picture. The Yoga Karak planet for you. Now Mars is a Yoga Karak, being the fifth lord for you. It is getting exalted. So good efforts, how you use your intelligence, how you've used your, how you've planned things for yourself now bring in results in terms of monetary benefits. So this month could see more cash flow coming in, more cooperation from the family, your financial status may get uplifted, right? So all these things are definitely indicated. Those of you who have been fighting a legal battle may get some relief during this month, right? So there is monetary benefit which is definitely going to come in, but one thing which you need to see is maintain harmony within the family. If you have any pending decisions regarding money, talk it out within your family, keep some transparency, right? Take advice from your elders, take advice from your father, right? So if he's around, if he can give you good financial advice, it will really help you out. Sun is another auspicious planet for you, being the ninth lord. So here, a lot of money related transactions or positivity in terms of money is definitely around for the Sagittarius ascendant, as I see, right? Sun is going to move out of the second house and into the third house by the second half of the month, when it conjuncts with Saturn also. So now at that point, I would say that a lot of you may look at journeys, may look at pilgrimages also, right? So moving towards some holy places, taking up pilgrimages, issues with your younger brothers, issues with your younger siblings is also indicated, right? So when Sun, Saturn and Mercury will be together, that is during the last week of February, is when it is better to avoid communication. If you cannot communicate properly or if there's some problem there, avoid those situations rather than getting into some situations and worsening it, right? So clashes are definitely seen. Some communication related issues can be seen with their younger siblings, etc., right? So that is something which I see for the Sagittarius ascendant. Otherwise it looks good. The money front is something which is definitely a highlight during this month. Then I move on to the next ascendant, that is Capricorn. So if you are a Capricorn ascendant or a Capricorn rising, we see a lot of planets. Sun and Mercury are anyways there in the Lagna, that is in the first house in Capricorn. And then we see Mars and Venus also coming in as the days progress in the month of February. So a lot of planets are going to be impacting the Lagna, right? So when this happens, especially with Mars coming and exalting into the Lagna, Mars is a good planet for you, being the 4th lord. It also is the 11th lord, right? So it brings in gains. Gains can be seen. Property, real estate related good news can be seen. So if you were waiting for some deal to crack through, this may be the time, right? So a lot of positivity I do see for you this month, but remember, keep your anger under control. This is something which you have to definitely do. Keep your communication in check. Mars is going to be impacted by Mercury, Venus, Sun is going to be there. So there are a lot of things sitting right on the head. When we talk about the Lagna, we talk about the first house. It is the head. It is what is sitting, what is going on in your head. So in your head, so many planets are putting an impact. They are putting an effect, right? So how you take what is good for you, what is bad for you, you need to be able to screen through properly, right? So do not take decisions in haste. But yeah, real estate opportunities will come in, good deals may come in. That is something which you can definitely benefit by. And as the month goes through, then Sun joins Saturn and then Mercury also joins in there. So we have Sun, Mercury and Saturn together in the second house, that is Aquarius. There is going to be a lot of focus on your assets, on your cash flow. Family matters will also be there, will be a primary highlight for you in the second half. There could be conflicts related to money within the family, right? Those of you who are going through a phase of getting money through inheritance, or there's something which is pending from that side, may also see some news here, right? So depending on the kind of dasha, depending on what is promised in your natal chart, for some it may be good, for some it may be a little troublesome as well. So money wise, you've got to be careful. If you are dealing in any negotiable instruments, if you're dealing in anything related to money, or paperwork may also suffer. So that is something which you need to see. Keep your cash and your paperwork in place properly, and whatever you do regarding money, do so with proper legal advice, so there are no loopholes left by you, right? So, and as this month goes by, those of you who are looking at starting any new businesses or new ventures may also get good ideas. Some of you may also get funding, may see money flow coming in also, right? So this is going to be a important month for the Capricorn ascendant. Then moving on to the next sign of Aquarius. So if you are an Aquarius ascendant or Aquarius rising, we see Saturn sitting in the sign of Aquarius as the month begins, and then later on Sun and Mercury will join in. Most of the month, the sign of Capricorn, which is falling in your 12th house, sees 4 planets going through: Sun, Mercury, Mars and Venus. Mars is going to be exalting also in the 12th house. So what does it show? It shows a lot of foreign connections, lot of travels, lot of expenditure primarily, right? So those of you who are getting to travel because of work may find this a very busy month. You travel a lot, there's a lot of expenditure, you stay away from home. All these things are definitely indicated. There is a Viprit Rajyog also which is forming up because the 6th and the 8th lords, that is Mercury and Venus, are sitting in the 12th house. So initially you may face difficulties, but then later things work out for you also. Right? So the first half may be a little tricky, maybe a little difficult. You need to be more patient for results to come through. For some of you, this may also show a rise in medical expenditure. So if you are somebody who's going through a bad phase of health, this month may require some extra expenditure on hospitalization, medicines, doctor visits, etc. So take care of your health. That is very important. Those of you, who are younger, who are, more healthier, traveling a lot, there could be a lot of money spent on leisure. There could be some wastage also. So this month you need to be, you need to plan your financials properly. Otherwise, a lot of loss, a lot of expenditure may be on the cards for you. And then as the second half comes in, there could be, chances of problems, conflicts between you and your spouse. Right? So that is again something which you need to be wary about. Communicate properly, maintain transparency within your spouse, about matters between you and your spouse. Right? So that is something which you definitely need to do. Communication, transparency are the two keywords. Otherwise, a lot of you may face issues, in your marriage in terms of, how you're coming through, how the other partner is coming through, and this may, disturb your domestic harmony also. This is very typical whenever we see sun, in the sun ruling the first house or the 7th house. So Leo and Aquarius right in front of each other, whether it is the Leo ascendant or the Aquarius ascendant, things get ugly very fast, or things go out of hand very fast, in marital relationships especially. So that is why I'm advising you to be more patient and communicate properly with your spouse. Then moving on to the next ascendant, or the last ascendant of Pisces. So if you're Pisces ascendant, Rahu is sitting right in the first house. We know Ketu is in the 7th. Jupiter is in the 2nd house, which has been doing you good. Apart from that, we see a lot of planetary energy in the 11th house in the sign of Capricorn, with Sun and Mercury being there. Mars and Venus will enter, and then later on in the second half of the month, Sun, Saturn and Mercury will be together in the 12th house. So this is a month of gain for you. This is a good month for you in terms of gain of education, gain of higher status in the society, right? So capitalize on this month. If you have been hardworking enough, if you really deserve it, this month will bring in opportunities to you, right? So here, that is something, looking after your interests is something which is very important for the Pisces ascendant. Being very soft or being too easygoing on things can make you lose opportunities, right? So here, make sure that whatever you want, you go for it, and you're not sitting behind, you're not lagging behind, being lazy, or just waiting for things to come by. So get up and grab your place where it needs to be seen, where you need to be seen, right? So a lot of you who are looking at higher education may gain through this. For some of you, a lot of long journeys will take place, a lot of movement related to education, related to places, visit to holy places, pilgrimages may get through. So this is going to be an eventful month for the Pisces ascendant. It's just that you need to be a little more action oriented and not leave things to destiny. Be more action oriented and grab things which you have to get, right? So as the second half goes, with Sun and Saturn and Mercury coming together in the 12th house, do take care of your health, do take care of your feet, right? Any issues related to your legs or feet, do get them checked up. Any nerve related pain, nervous pain, etc., take yourself to the doctor. Get yourself checked. Do not ignore things. Right? So that was all about the 12 ascendants, and I'll meet you very soon in my next video. Till then, keep watching, and in case you haven't subscribed, do remember to subscribe. Bye bye. Take care.